Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for January 19, 2025. Of course, we got a lot of Transformers news out there. There's some sort of event going on with Takara and T-Spark event. We're going to be looking at some pictures from that. And there's some Ramen toy stuff going on. We're going to get into looking at a few of those things. There are some Thundercats things going on, which seems to be going strong for Super 7. And then Playmates is popping up with some of their good old-fashioned TMNT also. And with that, we're going to take a look in some of this retro kind of reimagined line. And then we're going to be looking at some more Dungeons & Dragons. It's Dekion Glow in the Dark. And then we've got some G.I. Joe by Fans Hobby that's actually starting to ship right now. And then Star Wars. Well, there's a little Star Wars news. Most of it is just what's on sale and what are they trying to give away. Coming up. All right, starting out with what's new at Shozi Store, and this is the Fans Hobby 1/12 scale VEO1 Air Eagle, and it's going to fit your classified figures. I'm still curious if it fits the bigger, more 1/10 scale figures like Super 7 Ultimates, but I'll be getting this, and I will be reviewing this. $109. It is in stock now, so I paid for mine. Maybe it's shipping soon. Science Culture YC002. The Heidelberg Scorponok. This is about the 17-18 inch scale, just like their Metroplex was. So it is smaller than the Titan class that you get for 200, but it's different in a way, in many ways, but some similarities it seems like. But I'll be getting this, take a look at it now. My pre-order price was $175, but it's up to $200 now, and I'm not sure if that price is going to even go higher. With the Metroplex, it seemed like the prices kept dropping, but with this one, the prices just keep incrementally going up. I think this is a good sign from DX9, their Motormaster, but this is the D14B Capone G2 version of their Motormaster, meaning that they're moving into completing this Motormaster and completing the set for the G2s, and you can pre-order that $2 down at Shozi Store, and I kind of feel like they're piggybacking the production run because there's all those sets that are going to be coming out pretty soon for the DX9 Minosaur. And I'm going to put this as Show Z because it's the first place I saw it, and this one is the EX, and this is New Age Toys H64EX Lincoln, and yeah, it does look pretty good, to say the truth. There is the alt mode for the standard one. I'm about to see what the standard one looks like. And I do like that they give you the option for EX or the option for the standard or the cartoon version. And there is the standard one, notably that the toy version or EX version has the VAC metal on the accessories. This one is kind of gray on the accessories. I would definitely be in on an EX if I was going for this one. I'm still on the fence. Magic Square is pretty good. So there's a lot of stories, not really sure what the best headline story would be, but this one here is the X-Transbots Toys MX41 Ground Bite, and the comparison here for the leg mode, which I'm most concerned about the combined mode when it comes to these, and I do think the Fans Toys leg mode looks better to me. Now, a lot of other people are going to say that the X-Transbots is actually more accurate to what you see in the show, but the jury's still out. But I just with this leg, I do like the way Fans Toys looks. I already know how it feels, but I do think that X-Transbots looks really good in bot mode, and their alt mode is a winner. So with all of that, there's a nice comparison picture. Jury's still out. There's still 5 more to go, 4 more to go after this. Saw about 4 posts talking about this one here, and it's a repaint of an RC, but people are saying that it's a knockoff. It is the MD002B, and I believe of Flames Toys, but then again, I could be wrong on that one. Still looks pretty cool, interesting if you're in on getting these repaints and looking into this color scheme looking fantastic on a great looking figure. X-Transbots Paragon, this one here is the MX32, and it's their next step, evolutionary step into completing their Defensor, and there's a bunch of them. I'm sure they're making more than just this, but this is like one batch that's gotten finished up. Let's do some stuff with it. I guess they're going to be packaging it in alt mode. So Takara's showing off their is it the MPG version? Is that what they're calling this for the Predacon and Predaking? And it looks pretty interesting, pretty cool. Still not 100% sure on size. We're going to look at a lot of more pictures, and I think this is going to be mixed in with some of the Chug size stuff, so we're going to get comparisons next to Chug and all of that. But just looking at the aesthetic, it does look a little bit on the stylized side, a little bit more of a departure, kind of in their T-Spark range. Still looks good. I think it's a interesting looking figure. It's pretty sharp. Trying to reduce as much picture overlap as possible, because when you get into these events, there's a lot of very similar pictures, just slightly different angles. And looking at this is, I don't think this is packaging, but I think it's artwork that's going to be utilized with packaging, and it's showing some coming soon. It was on the way. The AMT01 and 02. So Rodimus is the 01, but is it still classified as the MPG? Anyway, this is what it looks like, and it is definitely a stylized version of Rodimus, and everybody's been clamoring for something better than the MPO9, and I don't know if this fits the bill for the people asking for something better than MPO9, but it is definitely different, that's for sure. And I'm not really trying to make up puns, but it literally is the Macross crossover, and it is an Optimus Prime with a guitar, an electronic guitar. But this is sort of trying to look like it's from the Macross era and sort of a Valkyrie, but it's still Optimus Prime. And I would have rather seen Jetfire. And that's that. So hopefully we see that coming down the road. Maybe that's something that's going to be an option, an updated Jetfire coming down the pipelines. But this actually classifies more as like Hasbro mainline than Masterpiece. And some of these things are, but it is what it is. So this one here is sort of a Nemesis MPG Prime, but it is, but it's not. But it's a nice repaint of it. As for the lore, I'm unaware of this happening in the lore, but it looks really cool, and I might be tempted on this one. And you know, I hear a lot of people talk about stuff like, I'll wait and get the KO of this. I'm not noticing that these repaints and these offshoots get KO'd. The main one gets KO'd because there's enough demand for it. I don't think there's enough demand for the repaints and the recolors. So this is something, if you want, you probably need to get this official if you want to get this in the Super Genrai. So this is something called Burning Sarah. There's really little to no actual information about it, but it's MFMC Development, Toy Development, saying Mini Force Dinoid Burning Sarah. And it looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. Oh, I'm trying to get away from using the word cool because it's overused. And awesome's overused too. But here is what it turns into, for whatever reason, whatever it is supposed to be doing. And looks like a little dino head there, or maybe a giant dino head. And then it looks like it also turns into this. Could that be an upside down foot, or what's going on with this thing? Well, anyway, Burning Sarah. There's a 3D printed part for Yaguchi, and it's made in two colors. You can get black or bronze, and then it's accented with either black paint or bronze paint to accent it to match the color scheme that's going on with black and bronze. And it's real simple. You just kind of clip it in place, and you've filled all the gaps, make it look even more whole, and pretty much solve all the complaints everyone has with the figure. And it looks pretty good. Now, Sony over at TM Reviews, so you can go to the channel TM Reviews. He's done a review on it, and he has a link to where you can get this. He did a great review. It's just probably one of the shortest reviews he's ever done, because it's just simply clip it in place and you're there. But I'm almost tempted. Understand, I believe if I were to buy this, I try to buy 4 or 5 things from the seller, because it does come from Australia. You know, make that 18 Australian dollars of shipping worth it. Although we saw a Rat Trap Masterpiece Takara, MPG Rat Trap pictures last week. These are better pictures. There's more pictures, and they're better pictures. So this shows him in the group with all of the other figures, and how he scales. That looks really nice, and it works. It scales properly. But I'm hearing it's going to be $100 for the smallest one out there. That does kind of sound about right with Takara pricing this day and age. This shows him in both modes, and yeah, there he is, looking pretty good. He's got the signature kibble backpack. The original toy had that, and then they animated that to copy the toy, which was kind of the trend in the 90s, to animate exactly what the toys looked like as close as they could, even if it was to detriment. And then here's a nice other little shot. Now this shot isn't as good as the first one because they all look about the same size except Dinobot because of the angle. But the first shot was the best for getting size, or dare I even say scale. We have pictures of a Shattered Glass Optimus Prime. The MPG-12 is just a repaint of MP-44 and no trailer and less stuff in it. You get a lot less stuff going on with it, but it does look to be a repaint, official. I'm trying to remember, did the KOs, I don't know if they went this route. If they did this coloration, I can't remember. But if they did, then it was only like 115. This one is 200. But, hey, it's got the Matrix. That works. Oh, I got pictures of the New Age toys, H66 Bomber and the H68 Beaufort. These are Mr. LJ. Amazing photos. And he also gets the stuff really early, which is awesome too. That'll work. Here is the alt mode. The alt modes, both of them. And I'm on the fence on getting these really. I'm doing Magic Square mostly, and New Age stuff usually does nail it. But their mini bots are super small, so I would like to see comparisons before I dive in on them. But they look good. They look real good, but they just are so small. It's my only downside to them. All right, here's more pictures of the QQT Core Class Predaking update, which is sub-Legends, but in the ballpark. I mean, in all reality, it's in the ballpark. You can sort of see it compared to Marge back there. Tell him Large Marge sent you. Yep, and he's got a double-up of his legs put on his arms, is what it looks like to me. And very interesting that they're doing this. And some of this stuff here that's like the bone white looking prototype parts, it's really hard to see all the details. And usually you should be able to see them better with that, but can't wait to see this with color and maybe a little paint on it. And it should be, looks like they're getting closer, ready to go. So it looks like this is 2/3 of the way there. More pictures from the event, trying to break it up into now the Studio Series with the Hasbro. And, well, we know Takara's making it all, but we've got the first two components of their Devastator, and that's what they look like. Then also we have the video game versions of Bumblebee and is that Cliff Jumper, and then a few other figures in there, which nice to see this stuff coming along okay. I'm actually in on a Devastator. I'm buying very little of the Hasbro stuff this year, but I am going to be in on the combiners, and I'm getting a second Devastator because my son wants one, so that's what I got to stay on top of with the Hasbro releases. But here we go with Superion, which is by far my favorite combiner of all of them, still is to this day. And I've got too many versions, so I'm going to get one more. This one here. I actually sold off all my Combiner Wars box sets because I was digging deeper into Masterpiece. So I welcome this set coming in. Plus, the Combiner Wars was good, but I think this is closer to what we want to see as G1 collectors. And yeah, there it is. Pretty interesting. There's a few other things in here in this picture. Kind of a fun event that's going on. Now, this is kind of a blend between third party, but it's still in the Studio Series scale for the most part. New Age, and this is a picture I've been looking at. I think it's a good comparison of, on the left is the EX toy version, on the right is the New Age of the standard version. And I'm going to say, there's no such thing as perfect. I think it looks good. No such thing as perfect. I would never use that toy head, though. That's what dreams or nightmares are made of. That's nightmare fuel. I think this does kind of suffer from the same issue that we have with the Takara's Plus version. That was a kind of a toy version, as we get vac metal on just some parts, and then other parts are just standard gray. And it looks good, but it could be great if we had followed through the whole figure with that paint. Obviously, it's going to scratch because of the transformation, and we all understand that, but if the colors would have matched a little bit more, I would have liked it a little more. I've got them both coming in. I'm going to review both versions at the same time. I really like this picture here, showcasing where they're going with the missing link line. Obviously, we have the two on the bottom are up for pre-order already. I didn't really know they were going to have the Diaclone drivers like that. I missed that point, so it's cool that they display that's what we're going to get with them, if that's what we're going to get. And then the RC prototype, and I do wonder how many colorations we'll get of that. I imagine since this mold is really just RC, we probably will get several different colors just to make it worthwhile of making her. And I'd probably be in on all the colors because this is something sorely lacking from G1. Somebody made a really cool comment that all of the old toy lines that seem to have failed never included female characters in the toy line. And I think Transformers, did they buck the trend? This week we got better pictures of Trypticon, and this Trypticon is Titan class, $200. It's going to be the reissue, but it's going to be recolored to more of the toy colors than the cartoon colors, is what the makers are saying about this. It does look good. A lot of people feel like it's a little undersized for the Titan class, but the fact that it still probably has the same amount of bulk because it goes deeper back with a big old tail and all of that with it. And of course, he's not a humanoid, he's a dinosaur kind of thing. There we go with the alt mode. And those colors pop. The box, I kind of feel like the box is a little bit on the boring side, but I think the colors on this pop. It's really a good looking set overall, but there goes. If you want to get this, it's up for pre-order all places like BBTS and all those places. We've got the Wreck and Doom collection, Top Spin and Spinister, which I think Spinister is still one you could get for a pretty good price, but we got this Top Spin figure. Now, that one is one that has gotten a little bit pricey. Now, this is an Amazon exclusive set, which a lot of those Amazon exclusive sets get expensive after a while, and hope I don't get the low-res picture in the editing. But here is Top Spin with Headmaster Freeze out. Going back to the Combiner Wars era, where this was the last run figure, or in the last runs of figures, that was hard to get, but pretty cool looking figure overall. And I really need to get my own Spinister back out, just to see the coloration differences in this figure. But I always thought this was a cool figure, and the colors look very similar to my memory, but then again, I don't have the other one next to me. So they are recolored versions. They will not match the originals color-wise, but still, cool looking set. If you're into it, start looking into Amazon. There is some Transformers 1 stop motion 1.5 minute to 2 minute videos that are up on, it says Transformers Official. And with that, if you want to check it out, it's kind of fun. For whatever reason, or just someone made these, or having some fun with it. It looks pretty cool that they're that it's getting made, but they're using some older figures in here too, like the one step changer RC. But if you want to check it out, just 1.5 minute. It's just some way to have fun with the franchise. So Diamond Comic Distributors Inc. is filing Chapter 11. What does this mean? For the most part, nothing's really changing just yet, but they're looking basically to sell out, get out from underneath their mountain of debt. And we're going to see a lot of this stuff. I mean, we're going to see a lot more companies that are just going to be saddled with too much debt and can't continue moving on. Now they'll get a buyout, hopefully, and then your comics can continue to get distributed and that kind of stuff. But this is not good. This is not good. It's a sign of the times, and it's not surprising. Actually, what's surprising is we're not hearing more companies that are having these same problems. Well, if that last story made you sad, then you need some cheering up with the Transformers Optimus Prime Humikane Shimada version model kit from Kotobukiya, and it's $80 at BBTS if you're interested. If this is the kind of thing that you like to collect and model kit to put together, then it's $80. 5.31 inches tall, made of ABS, PVC, and POM, so there's no die-cast in it, and it's based on the Optimus Prime character. Multiple joints of articulation and interchangeable parts and accessories. All right, getting to some non-Transformers news, we have Ace over here with his... This one is the Tatsunoko production, Gatchaman 2's 1/24 Eagle Sharp. and it is similar scale to the Machina line, the Red Gull Wing, and those, but it is an officially licensed product. Kind of looks like an X-Wing in a way, but looks really good. They have come pretty far along on this. It seems like I just found out about it a little while ago, and they're already this far along, which maybe they're just holding it under their hat for a bit, but it is still looking very good. It's coming along really well. Also, it's going to include this figure we've got an in-hand picture of the figure, literally in 120. Remember, 124 scale is mask scale, or in that range of size to the Kenner mask figures. And I like the softgoods cape on it. We got some pictures of the Machina Labs, the Violet Widow, and this is the driver and the pilot of the Mobula. I hope I'm saying it right. They've changed the name of this a couple times, so now it's the Mobula, and it looks very good. In fact, I like the direction they're going with this. I like the look of the figure and all of this. It's nice to see that we're going to get, this is the third unique vehicle. Now, there's repaints of the first one, but this is the third actual vehicle, looking good. Here's a side view, and it's got the Mad Hawkins figure in there, which looks similar to Matt Tracker. And it looks like just a plain old ordinary vehicle, a little Nissan 200SX or something along those lines. And then with the magic of all these extra parts that are engineered into it, and look what goes into a mask vehicle. I mean, Machina vehicle. What goes into that is the same thing that goes into a Kenner mask vehicle. And then, boom, there it is. Now you see the underworkings of it, and that is impressive. I believe those just flip out and then they slide out. So you flip out the wheels, those wings flip out and slide. Flip, flip, flippity slide. Here's top-down view, and top-down view looks good also. From the top down, you can kind of see the engines that are going to protrude out, which is... maybe there's a way to cover that up a little more, but I don't really mind. The thing is that the original toy that Kenner made didn't transform like the cartoon did. This will transform similar to some sort of cartoon that was in the 80s. And that's awesome. And cool. It says Figwarts Guts, the Band of the Hawk preview, Berserk. It's going to be something that is revealed soon. I guess this is the big reveal, but there's going to be a lot more information about this on January 24th. This is just the picture. This is the preview image. And yeah, a whole lot more to it, which I really don't even know anything about the media, but this was shared by Tamashi Nations. There is a new toy company called JFS Toys. They've announced officially licensed Robocop, the villains of the old Detroit, 1/10 scale, meaning scales with NECA and Super 7 Ultimates. And it's going to include Clarence Bodiger, Emil Antonowski, Leon Nash, Joe Cox, and Steve Mean. And then on the bottom right, that is a statue. That's a 1/4 scale statue of the dude that got into the toxic waste, and that's that. But these look fantastic. These are action figures. So the bottom right one is not an action figure, but the rest are action figures and so highly detailed. These look fantastic. They look amazing. Right up along the line of NECA, but a new company coming out that looks this good, this spot on. That's impressive. That is very impressive. So I will definitely be picking these up, well, if they're priced right. And literally, this is about all we've got for pictures. We got some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Remastered stuff that's going on right now. And so this is the Playmates Toys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Remastered figures with Armored Raphael, Shredder, and Rocksteady. Gonna Rocksteady. And Classic Mutant Module and Sewer Lair. So let's get into looking at all these. And I want to say Sewer Lair does not look exactly like the vintage one. It looks very close. Before they showed pictures of the vintage one. But I'm wondering if this is really the new one. The shine that you get on those tubes. The distance from the elevator on the very top, the elevator to the end, seems longer than on the vintage one. So I'm curious if they scale this down, or if it's the exact same size. Here's the mutant module, which I already feel the mutant module was a little undersized for what it was. Even though it was huge, it still doesn't fit the figures in as well as I'd like. But here's the mutant module, and I'm wondering if this is an actual prototype. They hinted at this not too long ago, but they could have just gotten a really nice looking vintage one and put it up there. So not really sure about that. Here's the Rock Steady. We're going to rock steady rocking all night long with this figure. And then we've got the Raph, and he's Raphael. What do they call this one? Armored Raph. And then Shredder, which looks a little weird, but still better than the vintage one. I mean, I'm just saying. You can get all the hate and shade you want this way, but it still looks better than the vintage figure. Here is, so I don't know if this is still on sale. I'll have to try to get a link down below for you, but this thing was on sale for, at one point in time, down to $60, from $80 to $60. And the price has been fluctuating on this, meaning that there's not as much interest in this, which is kind of strange. But at Amazon, you can get it cheaper than $80. I paid $80 for mine. Now I feel like a chump, but I wanted one. And with the box art, and my box art looks good. And I really hope any of these sales they're having doesn't include returned items, and they don't send you something that somebody like pulled out and put a brick in or something. I hope that's how it is. Another thing at Amazon that's on sale is this 1/12 scale Batmobile, and I think the sale's going to be over before this airs. Sorry guys, sorry. But it was on sale for $55, from $80 to $55. That's a pretty hefty discount, 30% off. And they'll probably have it on sale again, though. It's one of those things that Amazon stuff that would used to sell out and then shoot way up on the secondary market is still in stock in a lot of cases. And now going on clearance in January. I kind of want to stay with what Playmates is doing. And so they're doing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition. And I guess they're trying to not copy what their name is for the Turtle stuff that they're doing. They're not wanting to call it remastered. They want to call it Reignition. And that's all the news. We don't see what they look like. We don't get to see how they're going to look. But judging by what the Turtles look like, I don't think these are going to be superior to Lightning Collection definitely not to Super 7 or any of the other ones out there. Here's Dekion. Dekion is up for pre-order at BBTS, glows in the dark. He's $65. See, it's one of those things that this Dungeons and Dragons, I haven't seen NECA announce anything else. They've made a line of figures and they've made them all in the toy color variations, and I haven't seen anything else announced from them. Maybe I just missed it, but it's been a year since they've announced anything new from NECA for their Dungeons and Dragons. And Super 7 is chugging along, but this is a repaint already, and I'm looking forward to more announcements from Super 7, but I kind of fear that Super 7 is going the entire new way of doing things with some of these smaller lines, is just let them show up and see if they do what they do, or see how they do. I think the only people that really know what's going to be showing up is like BBTS, and they're probably in a confidentiality thing. But this is a repaint. It glows in the dark. The glow in the dark, according to Brian Flynn, has gotten really expensive, which is why it's $10 more. Thundercats Ultimate Super 7 Wave 12 featuring Safari Joe, Nada, and then Mule and Berserker Cruncher from Super 7. These look very good. I'm not 100% sure that we need a whole bunch of these different of the female characters that were the natives, but at the end of the day, they were in the cartoon. They did do a lot in the cartoon, well, in a couple episodes, and I could see two. I just wouldn't want to see every wave or every third wave get another one of these, so we have like 6 of them. I'm not sure if that's what people want, but I would be in on these. I still haven't opened the first one that they made, and with that, I think that the Cruncher, the Berserker, definitely is needed. We're going to finish out the Berserkers, and looks way better than the LJN toy. The gimmick got in the way of the LJN toy. And then Safari Joe, everybody has said we need Safari Joe, and to finish up the LJN line. But the two most important ones to me, Stinger and Driller. Where are they? We only have a couple days. The 21st, which I believe that is Tuesday, yes, Tuesday, we are going to need to be right in front of Mattel Creations at whatever time 12 p.m. Eastern is for you, but it's going to be $20 plus shipping and tax and all of that. So $30 for one figure. But then on secondary market, it'll shoot up to like 50 or 60 if you don't get it from Mattel Creations. This one I predict to be a sellout. Now, maybe not in the first 30 seconds, but it's going to sell out. Very popular figure, popular character, and people like this figure. But more importantly, I like it, and I'm going to get mine. I've been buying everything from Masters of the Universe lately. I've been picking and choosing, but I am in on things like this, especially classic with classic packaging. And I love the packaging for these that they're doing now, because you can take the figure out and then put the figure back in. So it's one of those. But anyway, be fast on the draw or you'll miss out. Yeah, you don't want to be left out in the cold like I was with Coldar, and I was right in front of my computer ordering it, and I had it in my cart, and I was sorry, sold out while you're buying it. This is another Mattel Creations, Mattel WWE Official Retro Collection Royal Rumble Ring and Brother Love figure coming January 24th, and it's going to be $40. They're learning now that they need to get away from everything being $250, $300. Start giving offerings that are affordable and targeting the right market here. And here we go. I bet this is going to be popular. I don't bet it sells out in 5 minutes, but I bet that it doesn't linger on there for 3 years. And seeing as how it's not going to be one of those crowd funds, they don't have to hit a certain mark. If this is just how it should be done in the first place. You're going to make it, you're going to offer it for what appears to be a pretty reasonable price, $40. I'm not into this at all, but I'm just bringing awareness so you guys know. Right, McFarlane's putting out a Flavor Flay figure, and this is for their Music Maniacs lineup. Pre-orders are now available at BBTS, Entertainment Earth, and probably other places too. And it's based on the hip-hop legend, up to 12 points of articulation, highly detailed, limited edition to only 5,800 pieces. Includes Flavor Flay, mic stand, bass, card art, and a giant clock. Don't forget what time it is. Probably getting a little bit of Star Wars news here. We have the Star Wars Black Series IG-12 and Grogu and some of these little porg-looking dudes. On Walmart.com right now, $9.96. Obviously, you got to get up to like $35 to get free shipping. Sold and shipped by Walmart. So this is not a third-party seller. And yeah, they can't give it away. I still see it hanging at Targets, and it's one of the few things that I actually see when I'm out and about. That is probably the top news of the week. Also, we have the Emperor with his throne, but now that the Emperor is showing up for $10 and $6 at Ollie's Ross, this one with the throne, $44.99. I don't know if people really want to spend that much money just to get a throne. Although it does look good. It does look really nice. But it's at Amazon right now. Amazon exclusive, $44.99. The thing is, I thought it was cheaper than that. I thought it was $30 when it first came out. But maybe I'm wrong. I just can't remember. But the fact that this thing skyrocketed to like $150, $200 for a while. Now you can't give them away. This one is for the children. It's more of the new 4-inch Epic Worlds of Action images of figures, and these are the ones. I know the figure at the top left is from Skeleton Crew. We'll talk about Skeleton Crew. And then the rest of them are just various different ones from different timelines, if you're interested. And that's a wrap on the Skeleton Crew and all of the episodes. I guess there's 10. I watched the last one with my wife. She did not want to watch it, but I guess I forced her to watch it with me. They say that the numbers are so low on the viewing of this that it's down there at Miss Marvel levels or lower, which I hear is bad. But it's one of the lowest. It is the lowest streaming Star Wars that they've had on Disney Plus. Again, I do feel like it's because it is hidden behind a paywall. I do feel like because less people are in there watching it. But here is the other thing I want to say. If the diehard Star Wars fans are going to watch pretty much everything that comes out Star Wars. If they like it, they're probably going to watch it a few times. That's just how Star Wars fans are. We like the movie, we go back and watch it a few times. We like a show, and it's on streaming, we go back and watch it a few times. And the thing is, I don't think this got the rewatch. I think that people either watched it or started watching it, just didn't finish the episodes and those kinds of things. And that's just the reality. Plus the fact that it's hidden behind a paywall. But at the end of the day, it just did not perform very well. So anyway, that's the weekly news and review. I'm going to leave it with this picture of the FTO1 trailer if you really want one. TF Source has it for $739 in their vintage area. And if you want to get it, it says it's mint in box. That's interesting. But yes, this week's news, a lot of good stuff, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, some things coming up for pre-orders to be ready for this week. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you're going to get this trailer. Take care and hang out.